Hello, all you beautiful people. This is Lisa, and with Living Life with Lisa, and I'm out today because my youngest is gonna spend a fun night with a friend, and I'm gonna go home and spend the weekend with my two teenagers. So, anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about getting the diagnosis and how important that is. It's kind of scary. I thought for a while that I didn't need to get the diagnosis. It didn't matter. Was it going to make any difference anyway? What difference does it make? It's just a word. They can't do anything about it. Blah, blah, blah. All these excuses of why not to get the diagnosis. But I went ahead and talked to my general practitioner, which is what I need to do in the first place, but I hadn't done that. I hadn't shared any of that with him. I had only shared it with my speech pathologist, who, because of HIPAA and things like that, couldn't really say much of anything to anybody. And so she could send the reports, but my doctor admitted that he doesn't read reports unless somebody calls him and tells him to read them. So anyway, I went and I spoke with him, and he took a battery of medical tests because a lot of medical conditions can mimic dementia. And so we needed to make sure that I didn't have a medical reason as to why I was having so many problems. I'm sorry for the lighting. If I was taller, I can make myself a little taller with these magic seats. They were invented by a short person, I think. I thought that immediately they take my keys away, that if I got the diagnosis, I would all of a sudden become unable to do anything. Just all kinds of crazy things were going through my mind. That my world was coming to an end. My life was coming to an end. And I was scared. I was scared to get the diagnosis. I didn't want to get it. And there are even videos where I said, you know, what's the point of getting the diagnosis? Well, fast forward to my going to my practitioner and him running a battery of medical tests to rule in or rule out a medical condition. Once that everything was ruled out, anything medical, he gave me a pencil and paper test, which is just a cognitive test. Gave it to me, and I scored low enough that that I needed to go see a neurologist. Well, they send all the paperwork and everything on all of the MRIs and everything that I ever had to the neurologist. When the neurologist diagnosed me, I felt like I'd been hit in the face with a 2x4. Because after he said, you have dementia, I remembered nothing after that, because I was in such shock. Even though I was expecting it and I kind of knew it, it still made it real. But I have to tell you, diagnosis is better than not having a diagnosis, because once I got the diagnosis, doors open like you can imagine. All of a sudden, disability was not an issue anymore. I already had my disability, Social Security disability, but I had to fight for it. With dementia, it opened that door automatically. So I didn't have to worry about that. But the thing is that if I was still fighting them, that would have taken care of it. Also, I am eligible for in-home care to come in where I wasn't eligible before. So with the diagnosis, I am eligible for some help. With the diagnosis, I know that I need to put my ducks in a row, and I had already started doing that anyway, but put my ducks in a row so that I can relax and enjoy. They put me immediately on medication. The medication, I believe the medication is helpful. There's people that say both things, but I had the attention span of a snail or fly, I don't know. But my attention span stunk. I couldn't watch a TV show. And I would watch a show and then watch it again and swear I'd never seen it before, and it might be the 4th time I'd seen it, according to my family. So now I watch things, I do things, and I remember them, and I don't forget them. So my attention span is longer, which means I'm part of the conversation longer. I can hold a conversation longer. I can do more things that I couldn't do before. So medicine is helpful for that. It supposedly slows down the progression in some people. And I'm going to go to a naturopath next week to see if there's some other things that maybe can slow it down. But with the diagnosis, it opens doors that that previously were closed, and they've just come flying open. And my advice to you, as scary and as heartbreaking as it is to get the diagnosis, it's good to know what you're dealing with, because if you know what you're dealing with, you can plan and you can make arrangements and you can get help. And doors, like I said, all kinds of doors open. So please, if you're scared and you think you've got dementia, but you're scared and you're thinking, well, there's no reason for me to get diagnosed, do it, because it's shocking and it's heartbreaking for a couple days, and then you realize you're the same person you were 2 days before you got the diagnosis. You hadn't, all of a sudden, the door didn't slam down, and all of a sudden you're drooling and in diapers. You're still the same person you were before. You haven't changed. Okay, you just got the diagnosis. You're not the diagnosis. You're the person, and you have not changed. But now things are in order. You're getting medication that you need. You're getting help that you need to make the stress less, to make life easier, so that you can enjoy and do things and make memories with your family and do those kind of things. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, if that makes sense. Because if you have dementia and you don't admit to it and you don't get diagnosed, you're going to go downhill faster. And you're not going to have time to enjoy that. You're not going to have quality of life. You're not going to have any of those things. Get the diagnosis. Get on the medication. Try to get this extended out longer. Get the help that you need, and then enjoy life. That's just my advice. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. But that's why why I went through the diagnosis and got it. So that would be my advice to you. Go get the diagnosis if you think that you have dementia, because it will help open doors and it will make life in some ways easier than it is without the diagnosis. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. And I wouldn't be getting the 6 hours of help that I'm getting if it wasn't for that diagnosis, and I wouldn't be on the medication that I'm on if it wasn't for the diagnosis. Okay, I wouldn't have the support of my family if it wasn't for the diagnosis. So I'm still Lisa. I'm still the same person. I look really bad today because I just got up, rolled out of bed, and took my kids somewhere. But with that being said, that has nothing to do with dementia. That has to do with me rolling out of bed and taking my kid to a friend's house. So that's just my advice to you. Take it or leave it. But I just wanted to throw that out there. So we'll talk to you later. Live life to the fullest. Live life with no regrets. And we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.